Welcome to those near and far. Welcome to As Luck Would Have It. Our game is set in 2019 in Montreal, Canada. Let's meet our mages this evening.
I'm Lloyd Colman, otherwise known as Geek 5150, and I am Auron Pritchard.
My name is Alan, and I will be playing John Staunton.
I'm Jayce Maxwell, and I will be playing Max Toulon.
Recap. The Cabal went to Magic Court with Sarah over the welfare of the Puka as related to Reginald Hollis Bonnie Flambeau, a stage magician who used the Puka in his act. The court determined that the Puka also had the human form, so they were determined to be sentient creatures that deserve care. Hollis was sent to Gilgul, a method where the avatar has received a death sentence. Now, it is the evening of November 14th. You have just, you handled all the court stuff during the day. You have the evening to yourself. And I'm going to do a time jump. So 2 weeks between, the end of the court to Auron's appointment in Horizon. So is there anything that you would like to accomplish or study or spend experience or anything like that that you would like to do before the memory thing?
I don't have the experience points for what I want.
I've actually got a couple things.
Okay.
Unless something interferes, I'm just going to make a routine schedule for the 2 weeks.
Okay.
Study in the library, and about the time the kids start getting out of school, I'm going to take a drive around, and I'll be looking for...
Yeah, that got really muffled.
Sorry. About the time the kids get out of school, I'll be driving around looking for a case where there's a small kid being bullied by a bunch of bigger ones. And then the afternoon will be spent with Jody because I've been ignoring her. And I'll be working nights at the clinic.
Okie dokie.
I think the most Auron's going to be doing is probably finishing, readjusting all of his stuff in his room.
Okay.
And probably just doing a lot of thinking and stuff like that, and then going to work and coming back.
Doing a lot of thinking? What about?
Like the upcoming appointment, stuff like that.
Does he actually want to know what he's forgotten?
What do you mean by forgotten?
Because
it's kind of like contemplation kind of thinking and stuff, like sorting through what memories he has before this all happens, so that maybe he could try and get some headway on
what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's his and what's from other sources.
Right.
I know Max is going to be, now that there's downtime and there was craziness happening and he got behind, so he is going to be super studying.
Okay.
And attending all his classes.
So Auron was working towards hypercram.
I wasn't, no.
Who was working towards hypercram?
No, I have hypercram.
Oh, okay. Hypercram, can you refresh my memory as to what that does?
Let's see. I've got 2 dots. I am going to look it up on White Wolf Wiki.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the same as Dream. Well, functionally the same as Dream.
It's
The
the
ma-
technocrats answer
Mhm.
to Dream. Yeah.
The mage is able to connect with the universal unconscious to inquire information. That's it.
Okay.
He's not. Max isn't like trying to tap into it right now. He's just trying to like get all the information into his head
Are you
the normal way.
going through the library in the Chantry, or are you going via the internet, or how are you studying?
Notes and textbooks, just the traditional way.
Traditional way. Okay.
Because I've got, all my classwork. And should I find the time, should Max find the time, he will go into the Chantry Library and just try and absorb as much information, random bits of mystical information.
Okay.
Way,
that would mean that Alan, or not Alan, I'm sorry, you haven't changed your name yet. John and Max would bump into each other at the library. Because you both have the same goal, basically.
The way I'm picturing the hypercram working is just Max being able to, if he taps into the power, is to recall information that he's already looked up. So it's basically he has to read it once, and it's somewhere in the back recesses of his mind, and he can tap into it with the hypercram if he uses it.
Okay. That means I have to look up random shit that you would know so that I can tell you whenever you tap into it. I can be like, this is what you remember. That works for me. John gets 14 experience, a point of experience for every day that he spends in the library and goes to work and, does all of that stuff. You mentioned also looking for a child who is being bullied.
Yes. What I want specifically is a smaller kid, and there's at least 3 and preferably 4 or more bullies. Basically on the walk home kind of thing.
I can do on the walk home or at the refuge. Have you gotten access to the refuge yet?
I don't believe so. And it sounds like probably the refuge wouldn't be the best choice for this.
Because none of the kids are related. They've all been kind of like piecemeal kidnapped.
The refuge is definitely not the appropriate place for what I'm going to do.
Okay. Why not? So, on a walk home from work, there is a basketball court that is fenced off, and you see on the other side that a child is going after a basketball, but there are a cadre of, like, 3 boys who are playing monkey in the middle with him.
Okay.
And you can tell that the monkey in the middle there is getting frustrated.
Okay. So there's 3 bad guys. I'm going to pull 2 $100 bills out of my wallet, walk over to the group, fan the bills so that they can see what I've got. Come here. Wave them over.
Okay.
And to the one who is being bullied, these guys are pretty mean to you, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take these, go to the store and get yourself something nice? And I'm handing the bills. I'm going to let them get about 20 or 30 feet ahead and then turn to the bullies and, well, what are you waiting for? Go take them away from them.
This is a trap.
Think of it how
Says
you
one
fit.
of the boys. Say that again.
I said, think of it as you see fit.
Well, it occurs to you that they're not going to do it while you're watching.
That's fine. Let the kid get out of sight. Just standing there with the bullies, and then finally, if I catch you messing with him again, I'll tap my pistol and I'll walk away.
Okay.
What I was actually hoping for is that they would take the money, because there's 3 bullies, there's 2 $100 bills. Bullies don't generally like to share. It would have caused some resentment among them, maybe even broken up their little group. But this works just as well.
So, what are you studying in the library?
Anything related to correspondence or spirit.
Do you have either of those spheres already?
No.
Okay. You catch Jeeves at breakfast.
Okay.
He is happy to talk about it with you. And correspondence and what?
Spirit.
Spirit. You can talk to Raena about spirit.
Okay.
So, and I think she would be more than willing to I think she would be willing to show you the ropes.
Okay.
But it would be under her paradigm, right? So she teaches you basically how to tap into your ancestors and, like, your parents, your grandparents, your going back as far as you'd like. And your relationship with your avatar. So I would say go ahead and put a dot in spirit.
Okay.
You can spend the experience that you gained in the library on that dot. And then correspondence, you talk to Jeeves, who is more than happy to basically do the way I think about correspondence is think of it as having a dot and all this paper in between, right? You want to go from point A to point B. And what I do is I fold the paper so that they can both be right next to each other. I prefer
Wormhole
to...
paradox. The wormhole paradox.
Paradox can certainly happen, especially if someone sees you, and that includes paradox spirits. I would just eat it. I just eat the paradox as it comes. I don't let it build up.
Okay.
And if you pick places that people often don't go, then you can kind of like sort of... It still counts as vulgar no witnesses, so you can kind of brace yourself for the backlash.
Okay, I do appreciate the lessons. Would it be possible to do something like if I want to get to a destination, have it send me there, but by coincidence, cabs and planes and everything are ready just as I get to that point?
I'm sorry, I understood about half of that.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the lessons, I really do. But the one big question I have is, can I avoid paradox by teleporting someplace if what the sleepers see is I get to a corner and the cab is waiting, or I get to the plane and it's getting ready to take off as I board?
Because there is a driver for the taxi, that would be considered vulgar. But if there would have to be very specific circumstances where, like, say you're getting on an airplane, they close the doors. There's a possibility that you might be able to use that as a jumping point.
Okay.
And depending on whether or not the driver of your taxi is supernatural in origin. So vampires, werewolves, fae, spirits, any of those folks, they don't count. Another mage, for instance, they don't count as witnesses.
Okay.
So you might be able to use your taxi as a jumping point if you pick a driver who is supernatural.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one more piece of business.
What's that?
I have one paradox, 1 point
Mm-hmm.
of paradox, and 2 wounds.
Okay.
Hoping I can
Over the 2 weeks, you have healed your 2 wounds.
Okay.
So that's handled. If you wanted to, sit by a node, which we have discovered that Auron is a node. If you want to spend time around him and kind of like figure out how to burn off your paradox with
You could do a jigsaw puzzle with him.
quintessence. I'm sorry?
You could do a jigsaw puzzle with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Auron would probably do with that is that he would go to the one of the nodes that's in the
Chantry.
chantry and do like he did before by sitting on the floor and touching it, but would also touch like Max's shoulder to basically be a pass through.
So Professor Edge kind of like lets you know that Max doesn't need to be like have his hand held while he's at a node. Like all he has to do is be near the node and he can siphon energy off of it.
Well, I was meaning because they're saying like being near me, like since it all the stuff is consensuality and everything. Like he would be kind of like a middle point in a sense between the node and Max is what I was.
For sure, but the middle point isn't needed.
Okay.
So Max can interact with the node, like, you know, mage to node. And
So-
it would work, it would basically work the same way. The difference is when you interact with a node, you can basically overload your battery.
Yeah.
Whereas Max doesn't necessarily have a battery, he just has like a well that needs filling. So you can burn off that if you spend time at the one of the nodes. There are actually two nodes on opposite sides of the hallway, kind of in a broom closet of sorts. So Max basically pulls up a chair and sits at the node, and just being there feels like you're at a spa. So you get like this hum in your ears that's very comforting, and there's this blue glow that you can't tell if it's actually there or if it's like your prime sight that's kind of like, you know, making it visible to you. But there's a connection between you and the node, and it finds your paradox and it cuts right through it.
Nice.
So you can erase that point of paradox.
Cool. And
you
for
would gain
Max-
a point. You would gain a point of quintessence in its place.
oh, even better. Yeah, for Max, basic studying, like reading the textbooks and absorbing it, is his way of meditating.
Okay.
So he just does
Homework
basic level
while he's sitting. Okay, that's great. If you are doing it that way, I would say a point of experience for every day that you do that you study. But the experience that you get from, say, a college book would be applied to a skill or an ability, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to or an attribute, depending. If you're reading like a biology book or whatever, you can probably figure out how that would apply to your attributes. But if you want to up your spheres or your arete or anything like that, you can prepare for that in the library of the Chantry,
Okay.
which was Espen's room.
Right. I'm just looking up costs.
Mm-hmm. I think I have a thing with costs.
Oh, it's in the Discord. I was just...
Oh, okay. I posted it in the Discord.
Yeah, it's a pinned comment.
Okay, cool.
Abilities.
Something I would probably add to mine or to my stuff is I would make I would more than likely have to roll for it, but make a watch like everybody else's for John.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll technology and intelligence. Are you going to use magic to put it together?
Yeah, I'm doing it the same way as I did everybody else's.
Did you use
I believe
correspondence or mind or anything like that with it?
I believe I used correspondence for that.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll your focus, which is you putting together the watch. Technology and intelligence.
Okay.
And then whatever you roll, how many ever successes that you get from that, you can subtract from 6, which is the difficulty for your arete roll.
Okay. And what was the difficulty again for the initial roll?
6. Because you've done this 6 times before.
Okay, that's 4 successes with the 10.
I think 10s count double. Yes.
Yeah, that and it also involves my specialty too. So.
Oh, okay.
So then it would be.
That would be a difficulty 2 on your arete roll.
Oops. 2 10s.
All you needed.
Or actually 1 because I was a 1.
Okay. So, but 1 is all you needed. So, especially for what you use the watch for. John receives a watch that not only tells the time, but also acts as a tracker and as a communication device.
Also, it is. It would be specifically designed to the type of phone you have, because it is a smartwatch.
Thank you.
So if it's Android, it's any of the Android watches. If you use an iPhone, it's an iWatch.
Thank you.
And with this watch, you can basically be anywhere and communicate with your cabal.
And also, as previously when we made this in season 1, if he has a portal in his room, he can activate it to teleport directly to his portal.
Okay. I remember that at the rally.
Yeah, and it's strictly teleportation to the portal. You can't use it to teleport other places unless you were to modify the device to do so.
The trick with that is they have to have correspondence, like 4 to do that.
Okay.
So, you had Professor Edge kind of like helping you at the rally, but in the grand scheme of things, the watch would lower your difficulty when doing that effect.
Okay.
So, I looked it up. Ability is current rating times 2,
Correct.
and I have 4 dots in medicine, so 4 times 2 is 8. So if I spent 8 days studying, then I could get that 5th dot.
You are a doctor.
And I also would like to spend some time with the life magic books from the library. And I need 4 points. So, 8 and 4 is 12, and that we have 14 days, so I can have 2 days of rest, too.
Yay!
So, does that mean I can take the 4th dot in life?
If you have the experience to buy
Yes.
that 4th dot, yes.
Yes, I have 17. I need 21. So 4 days would give me the 4 points to cover the spread.
Cool. So you're not a doctor, you're a resident.
I'm laughing because have you ever seen Dr. Tran? I'm not a doctor, I'm only 5 years old.
Emotional damage.
And then Auron just walks in. It's like, how's it going, Bones?
Does Max respond?
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a doctor. Wait.
Close enough, and he just walks away.
Okay. So we'll have Raena here in a couple minutes.
Sweet.
She's doing silly things like putting on clothes and making coffee and stuff like that. So we can do a spirit scene with John, Max and Auron if they are so interested. Raena can explain how she views spirit.
I'd probably say Auron wouldn't be there. He'd be working on the watch during
Okay.
that time period.
Okay. Oh my god. If Auron had spirit,
I've already broken enough.
he would be conscious of every spirit he's made of.
Oh God.
So, something to consider. You would be able to tell whose memories would belong to who.
I would say probably do it after the appointment.
Oh, okay.
Because then it would make more sense because it's like, okay, we finally figured out what's what. Now I can connect with the parts of me in a sense.
Wouldn't mind to do that too.
Yes. In fact, spirit and mind would be ideal.
Okay, question. During my study of spirit, would the fact that I have a spirit guide help with that and benefits?
Yes. Yes, it would. So it will cost 2 points less.
And it's 10 for a new sphere.
So it would technically cost 8 for you to get that first bump. Because your spirit guide actually actually showed you how to work it.
And then I bumped again, then I bumped again. Yeah, so I can sit in on Raina's tutorial, but I don't have this. I guess Max doesn't have the spoons to learn Spirit yet.
Oh, okay.
He's just getting some of the basics down, like some background, so kind of greasing the wheels for later.
Cool.
He takes notes.
Yes.
He takes notes.
And
So Max starts his grimoire. Which is cool.
Oh yeah. Well, Max has been since day one, and it looks like a composition book. Well, it is a composition book. It's just there's because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just it looks very scientific.
And then by the end of Raina's class, it's, oh, hey, he has 5 composition books filled.
All trying to explain that first dot.
Exactly.
Does this work? No. Does this work? And using the scientific method for each step. For each method.
It makes a lot of sense too, because Spirit is a sphere that Max would have a hard time wrapping his head around.
Yeah.
It just makes no practical real world sense.
Only in the sense that he realizes that the avatar and the soul are 2 separate entities. And they are 2 entities that actually exist.
Yeah, it's just a matter of reconciling that knowledge with what he knows.
Right, exactly. Like people having the will to live or the will to die, and that will powering it one way or the other. That even sleepers can do that. Hooray! Hi, Raena.
Hi.
Yay! So, Raena has been approached by John to possibly learn Spirit from you.
Ooh, fun. Sounds like an interesting challenge. I'm down.
So, I'm opening a scene where John has approached you, and scene's on you.
Hello.
Hi, Raena. How you doing?
I'm doing. What's up?
Well, I was wondering if I could prevail upon you to teach me a little bit about Spirit.
I can teach you what I know about Spirit. It's not a whole lot, but it's fair enough to use, I guess. I'm down.
Yeah. So, how do you explain that first dot?
I can explain it as you can tear a rift in the gauntlet or the reality that we are in to the spirit world, but I can't explain how it works because I just did it by happenstance when I met Professor Edge's husband in my room. So I just tried something and it worked. I'm not quite sure how I did it.
Well, that seems vaguely like all of your magic.
Yeah, definitely a sort of magic. Cool.
So you that the gauntlet in your house, like at the refuge,
Mhm.
like the gauntlet is particularly thin all the time.
Cool.
So that's why your grandmother can like wake you out of a dead sleep and like, you know, interact with you even though she's been long dead.
Yeah. Okay. We can try it at my house out of character. How would I begin to help him in this hunt?
Okay, so to fit it in your paradigm,
Mhm.
one, you let him know, yes, the gauntlet is thin here.
Mhm.
Like the barrier between the two worlds is particularly thin. Basically, that means it's Halloween all year round
Ooh, yay.
in your house, which means you're gonna like if you look real hard, or you have like some kind of apparatus on your eyeballs, you might actually be able to see some ghosts.
Like ghost viewing goggles kind of apparatus, or okay.
So
You
would I
don't
have
need
to
that. You don't
No, I
need that because the ghosts
would
are
I have
invested in you. Sorry, go ahead.
would I have to prove that a holy stone would work in place of the goggles?
What's in place of the goggles?
A holy stone? It's a rock that's been naturally worn into a torus.
Ah.
In a lot of Celtic groups, you see the fae or the dead looking through the hole in the middle of it.
Yes. If that works for your paradigm, then that is how you have figured out that you can basically look through a hagstone if you want and see the other side through it. All right. So John can spend the experience for that first dot in spirit.
Are we at my house right now, or did I?
You
Oh,
have, in fact, taken him to your house.
okay.
I suspect the site conversation happens at the chantry, and then you guys go through your portal at the chantry to the refuge.
Ah, beauty, eh?
Okay.
So John is using a stone to basically like peer through to view the gauntlet and other spirits. If he looks at the children, at the baby bunnies who are all like hopping around the things, you see every seeming that they have all at once.
Okay.
So there is a seeming that is part rabbit, part human. There is a seeming that is full rabbit, and there is a seeming that is a full child.
Okay.
So it's kind of jumbled, because there's a lot of kids. But yeah, you can see each of their forms. They are not at all what they seem.
Okay. So, to Raena. So, what are they?
I'm sorry?
What are they? Are they some kind of spirit? Are they fae?
The puka? Or are you asking about... I'm sorry, are you still looking at the children?
Yes.
Okay. They are sentient beings with multiple, I guess, layers to their spirit would be an interesting way to explain it.
Hang on a second. I need to switch my headphones are powered.
And I just woke up. Thank you for being patient with all of my questions.
Yeah, no problem.
This is my face.
So did John not know that the rabbits and children were puka yet?
Ding, ding.
Ha ha ha. And we just assumed that he did. It's like, oh, you didn't know. Oops.
He wasn't at court. He had never been to the refuge. Like, this was his first time there.
It feels like he's been with us through all of the interesting things we've done. Like he's so we're just like, oh, you've been there. We know, you know.
Ooh, device is not connected.
Oh yeah, that happens when you change a device on StreamYard.
Sorry about this. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to accomplish before the visit to Horizon for Auron's appointment?
I think I've completely used up my spare time, so no.
I don't believe I have an experience for seeking, so no.
Is there any studying that you do during the 2 weeks? Or any activities that you do over the 2 weeks that that you might be doing before?
Say yes. Say yes. It's free experience.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to figure out what I would be doing.
Grandma can show you where the books are.
Mm.
So your herbalism can go up. Your spirit can probably go up.
I don't know what that means.
Herbalism would count as craft.
Okay.
So you can spend experience on the nights that you get. Basically, for every day that you do that, you get a point of experience.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how much time you're going to spend with your grandma.
Probably not much. She loves me, but she's got stuff to do in her own realm. Right.
Which is probably why she shows you where the books are, so you can study on your own.
Yeah.
But if you try to show this book to John, then it's completely Greek to him. He can't make sense of it.
So I should show it to him anyway for a good laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So, I'm gonna say you don't spend all your time there, but
then
you gain 4 experience for the nights that you spend with your grandmother.
okay. It would only probably be one night with my grandmother, and then the rest of the.
Well, with the books. I'll
Okay.
preface that.
Well,
So she points out 2 books that were hidden in the wall. One book is a book about herbalism, which is all of the plant life. It's a book that she put together with all of the plant life that is on the land that you are on.
Okay.
So it's medicinal uses, poisons, stuff like that, for stuff that is actually in your yard.
Cool.
It occurs to you that Portia would be like ecstatic to learn what you have learned from this book.
Definitely.
Making potions and
Poison.
medicines and cooked goods and stuff like that.
I'm really thinking she would dig the fact, like the idea of making poison into something like delicious, and then
Yeah. That's evil.
I mean, like for good reason,
Mm-hmm.
or make them very morbidly sick. Anyway, you just saw my demon side. Maybe.
Ooh.
I was also thinking about kind of honing up on my fighting skills
Oh,
because
good.
they have not been useful to date, except for once. So I would probably want to do some physical training along with magical training of how to use.
So, with that dot of forces that you have, you can fall back to what you learned from Enzo on Horizon.
I don't remember what I learned from Enzo.
You learned a point of forces. He basically taught you how to fight with magic.
Oh, okay.
So he taught you how to make he basically taught you that wind, fire, sometimes water, all kinds of
Sunlight.
sunlight, yeah, forces, any kind of energy that you cast at someone. Oh, and John is willing to teach you hand to hand.
Awesome. Okay. So it looks like I've got my work cut out for me.
You spend 4 nights with those books, and it gives you 4 experience. It is not overkill.
Okay, cool.
If you spend quintessence, so everything in your house is a focus. Everything, right? So if you are in your house or in your bedroom at the chantry, You don't need a focus to do magic.
Cool.
Because you have all your tools. You have everything that you have in your room is a focus. So you would basically tell me, like, what thing are you using? How are you using it? And what do you want to use it for?
Okay.
You can pretty much do anything that your magic entails. Which, by the way, I found a note that I wrote myself that has the explanation of all the spheres.
Awesome.
So I have to find it again, I think. I wish there was a search option in my notes, but there is not.
That would make. I keep a lot of notes, so that would make it a lot easier to find what I'm looking for. That's a really good idea. A search option.
Mm-hmm.
It's like keywords.
I also didn't realize that the vampire game and the werewolf game were happening like right next to each other. Which is craziness. Come on, where's the spheres? So if you tell me your oh, that's from a different game. I will be editing this out of the video.
Oh, good. So I can say booger.
Yeah. Which is hilarious. Did I star it or pin it? I did. Okay. That's why I couldn't find it. So, correspondence. Actually, Raena, why don't you tell me what spheres you want to work on, and I'll tell you what you're capable of doing.
Okay. Where did my drive just go? Oh, it's not working in the D's. Oh no. Okay, it's all gone, but I was in a different drive. I was in my work drive.
Oh, shit.
I'm here now. A part of things. So I have.
Oh, I only go up to 2 dots of each. I went up to 3 in life.
So I'm between life.
What was that? Okie dokie.
I'm coming to see what's happening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was debating on which one I should work with because I have life and forces, which both have 1 dot, and I have 3 in spirit and 2 in touch. So I'm between life and forces.
Okay. the herbalism book, if you sit down with Max and show him that herbalism book, he can show you like what part of the body and brain and soul and all of that stuff that herb would help with.
And Max's paradigm, he would describe it in pharmacological terms,
Mm-hmm.
like very scientific.
So he's using a lot of Latin, which works for you because there's a lot of Latin in the herbalism book. She uses the scientific names for the plants and then the layman's term for the plants.
Gotcha. Anything I don't understand, I still nod and let you get through, and then I ask questions.
So, Max can take I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Craft herbalism. And I'm going to give it to Raena too. So with craft, you have to take a specialization for every dot that you have. So the specialization is herbalism.
Yeah, I figure out how, or I know how to type that in the crafts. That, excuse me.
Neat.
Having a bit of a hiccup thing.
Oh no, not a hiccup thing. Okay, so that is. Does Raena have any paradox or any? She hasn't been spending quintessence much either, right?
Right.
Okay.
I have no paradox, and I am down 1 quintessence, but that's not gonna hurt me.
If you usually don't drink the coffee, you do notice that Max and Auron are spending a lot of time at one or the other node. There are 2 nodes in the Chantry, technically 3 if you count Auron, but there are 2 nodes, one at the end of each. Like there's one hallway, and at the end of each end of the hallway there is a node. So kind of like tucked away in a broom closet. So you kind of catch Max and Auron at different times.
Max is there a lot during these 2 weeks.
Max is there a lot.
And he'll just freely just say to her, yeah, when I'm here by the node, it's like the cosmos is opening my mind and letting me take in the information easier.
Oh, okay.
It's a study aid.
For me, yes.
Would I be able to do kind of the same thing with my own personal node?
So you are hanging out in the woods on your land, right? Is that the node that you're?
Yeah.
Okay, so you easily gain that point of quintessence back, and because of the plants that you now understand are in that area, and what kind of tree the stump used to be, and how that can now be used as an altar, and all kinds of really cool new understandings now that it's been contextualized for you in that book.
Awesome.
So, in your stuff, I would recommend counting these 2 books unless you're going to keep them in the library.
Okay.
But I suspect you're going to have your own private library in your room. Like,
Oh, it'll just be a couple of stacks of books messily thrown somewhere in my room.
okay. I suspect there is a floating shelf that is dedicated to holding the haphazardly stacked books.
Sure. So the first book, goodness, was about herbalism. What was the second one? Or are they the same?
The second one was, let's see, the herbalism book and what was the other book?
Would it have been like a spirit thing?
Yes, it was a spirit book. That other book is a Bible with your genealogy in it. And there are notes that are kind of like jammed in the book. Oops, we lost her.
And now we're down to 2.
And now we're down to 2. Poor John has not figured out how to connect their new cam. I can possibly remove him from the broadcast if that would help. Boop.
I didn't even do anything that time. You just stopped talking. I'm like, what happened?
What happened? Okay, so your spirit book is basically a series of notes that have been added to a family Bible that is probably about 300 years old.
Oh.
So, like, you're afraid to turn the pages, but the notes are going back to almost as equally fragile paper, and they basically can bring your spirit up to a 4.
Ooh.
So
They must be very gentle.
you must be very gentle. Yeah,
Has she done the seeking to?
she has not yet. So, are you ready for a seeking?
How much experience do I need? Because I can spend some more time with my books.
So a seeking is your avatar sending a challenge to basically kill you. And if you survive, you come out a stronger mage.
It's Arete current ranking times 8.
Oh.
So 24.
And I have 15 currently. So I'll spend some more time with my books.
Okay. With the spirit books, because you're taking your time and it's really small print and, stuff like that, if there is a spot for a extra skill, you can add religion to that.
I know it's not really the same. Well, it could be kind of the same thing. I have 3 dots in SO.
Oh, esoterica. Yeah. Okay. So you are well versed in the King James Bible, and you are well versed in your grandmother's Book of Wicca, her grimoire, her Book of Shadows.
Esoterica would make a great drag name.
Yeah, it would. Okay. John is going to pop out and try to rejoin on the phone.
Good luck, John.
Let's see. So for every night that you are with that spirit book, you gain, that's what, 6 nights?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 XP,
Okay.
and you can, how many XP does that bring you up to?
21.
You need 3 more.
Wait,
The
so
martial arts. The martial
I-
arts. So, hanging out with John and getting martial arts from him, you can get those last 3 experience.
Right on. I was going to suggest punching trees. Sounds like a much better idea.
I think the trees would be sad.
I don't know if I would feel morally right about punching a bunch of trees either.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma
Okay.
was out of the gauntlet like, what are you doing?
They protect you. What are you doing?
So punch loggers.
Punch loggers. Yeah.
Yes, that'll work with my martial arts. Cooking the fire here.
Who's Steve? Oh, Steve.
Minecraft Steve.
Oh yeah.
I cannot believe you did. I just recently got into Minecraft. That's the only reason I know
Yeah.
it. Just
Yeah, because to be able to do magic in Minecraft, you have to use mods.
But you can get wood from punching trees.
I get wood for a lot less.
Well, I know where my ugly's going this one episode.
You want to put up your portrait, Alan? Okay. So, John is giving those last 3 experience to Raena for her martial arts. However, she might use it to up her arete.
I mean, it makes sense. If she's doing training in martial arts, that's like mind over matter type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing.
Yeah. Oh. He just blipped out again.
Technology.
Yippee skippy.
Activia.
Lol.
Hey, we all need to get our Jamie Lee Curtis on sometimes.
If Raena is going to do a bio real quick, so am I. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
And don't forget to get some coffee.
The hot, juicy goth.
Some hot, juicy ganj.
I thought she said hot, juicy goth.
I would not say no to any of those things.
Neither would I.
But I said goth, like gossip.
We go say hi.
You want to say hi?
Pikachu.
But no, I'm just sitting there like, oh no, my weakness.
Hi.
Ew, 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 what is that? God, Jesus, stop it. Kids, I swear. Where'd you find that? Probably in the closet.
Is she umbrella corping?
I couldn't tell you. Hey, that's my soda. You have water. Too early for you, that's it.
But soda tastes better.
It does. But I am old enough to make the decision to ruin my body and my teeth. She is 4, so I must make that decision for her. And that stinks.
Yeah, that's why everyone turns to shit when they turn 18 and go to college, is because they are no longer, they have to be their own parent.
And they also become caffeine fiends.
And sleep deprivation doesn't really help with making choices. And none of us sleep the way we should have when we were just moving out of our parents' houses. I didn't sleep at all, pretty much.
I don't know. I think I made most of my best decisions while sleep deprived.
Okay. So what did I miss?
Nothing really. We were just yes-anding pretty much.
Yes, ending pretty much. Okay. So Raena.
Raena. Wizzy.
I want to request an awesome training montage for my martial arts.
Yes. One scene is you punching pieces of wood, and the pieces of wood do not break. And the next one is you putting your hands into rice and into sand and making your hands super tough. And you go to punch the wood again, and the wood splinters apart.
And randomly, there's a gif in there of that little girl that was getting taught to break a piece of wood with her foot.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time, Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande is playing. As soon as I break the wood, that's when it breaks down to Rain on Me.
Oh, we've already established that Max not only knows that song, but he can perform it very well.
Yep. Really interesting.
So it's him, his voiceover singing that for the montage.
One thing that I will teach is parry somebody's fist into your elbow. Big bones bruise.
We can't understand you.
I heard big boned brutes.
When I'm teaching the martial arts, you all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to teach to one thing I'm teaching is to when someone throws a punch, hit them on the wrist and drive their fist into your elbow, because your big bone will bruise and his little bones will break.
No.
But the question is Raena going to retain any of that fighting information, or is it going to just transfer into focus for a seeking?
It is up to Raena.
I'm planning on retaining it in the form of doing the motion so much it becomes muscle memory. Whether my brain retains the information or not, my muscles and my body will.
Okay. If that is the case, go ahead and put a dot into martial arts.
Okay.
You are shown how to punch, how to kick, where to guide a blow so that the attacker does more damage to themselves than to you. You are not shown a particular style. You are basically shown street fighting.
Marine Corps martial arts program.
Okay, I know you said Marine Corps, but Rancor is what?
Marine Corps martial arts program.
Oh.
So that's tricky because Marine Corps, around here at Quantico, they used power kicks. They just went Taekwondo.
So that's probably a change since I was in the service, but my guy was in.
Okay. Yes. What? Okay. We have a half an hour until we wrap up. I will come up with a seeking for Raena.
Cool.
But you have at least 1 point in martial arts.
Yes, I have two.
That I have given to you because John ran you through it. You can go up in just about anything. The only thing I ask is you don't do more than 1 dot this phase.
Sounds good.
So you can't put like 2 dots in medicine. You can put 1 dot.
Sounds good.
Okay. So is there anything else that you guys want to accomplish before we do goods, bads, and uglies?
Not here.
Okay.
Not that I can think of.
No.
Then let us do goods, bads, and uglies, I guess. This didn't really count as a game. This was more of a earning experience over a
2-week period.
Yeah, over a 2-week period. And then basically saying which skills, which spheres you are getting stronger in.
So the question is, will this actually be edited and posted, or will you make the next one this episode number?
Good point.
We could make this kind of like an outtakes because we were cracking jokes.
we were cracking jokes. And there was character development.
True.
Like I made a original series joke.
So, we'll start with Auron. What did you like about today?
We're setting up for the appointment, which that should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only bad is all the tech issues everybody was having.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give the experience to Max because Jayce caught my Star Trek joke quickly.
Max.
It was very interesting. I really like getting to nail down some specifics on different things.
Yay.
And I'll talk to you off screen about ideas for just the technical side of certain things.
Cool.
And I already mentioned it before, but I am giving my experience to Raena for that wood joke.
Thank you. You?
And my good is that I actually made it.
Yay.
The alarm and it didn't go off, or it did, or I don't know what happened. I just woke up at 8:30 like shit. Bad. I was very late. And my experience goes to Alan for teaching me martial arts.
Oh, John, then?
Oh, yeah.
The good, well, pretty much everything. We've got good players and a good GM.
Yay.
I can't find anything to complain about this time. So, you let girls wear slacks in your game. And I'm going to give my point to Auron because he hasn't kicked my butt over the jigsaw jokes yet.
Over what now?
The jigsaw jokes?
Oh.
But I'm ching.
But the whole technical thing is I'm not Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the scientist. I'm the Frankenstein monster.
Yeah, except that Dr. Frankenstein was the real monster.
Dun dun dun.
Semantics.
Okay. Everybody gets one experience for showing up today. And we will play next week on Friday. Yeah.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel. And that will probably be the actual session 5. Because this wasn't technically a session.
If only you could put a playlist inside of a playlist and just have a secondary playlist inside as luck would have it, that just says outtakes.
That would be fun. I was thinking about going through and picking out clips.
Oh, that would be
There's going to be a lot to go through since we're in season 3.
No, I mean from this episode.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, we could do the whole series so far.
That would be a lot of work on my part. I still have to edit episodes leading up to... Because I think yesterday's episode was the last of them, for the last of the stuff that I had uploaded.
Okay.
I have to reassess everything. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm doing this, but if you liked this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you want to see more wacky stuff like this, you can hit subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when we do a thing. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.